Hello everyone! Today we're going to talk about the differentiation of B cells. In the first part of the video, we're going to see what are the two parts of our immune system, the innate or natural immunity and the adaptive or acquired immunity, which is regulated by B and T cells. The innate immunity is also called natural immunity. The responses occur to the same extent no matter how many times the infectious agent is encountered. In other words, innate immunity is like a goldfish, walking around and feeling surprised every time meeting the same enemies, because goldfishes have no memory. Let's keep that in mind. On the other hand, in the acquired or adaptive immunity, the more the same infectious agent is met, the more the responses of our immune system get better. Means that the responses improve with repeated exposure. That's a basic difference in the two types of immunity. Alright, now let's see who are the components of each type of immunity. Innate response can be released by three types of cells: phagocytic cells, cells that release inflammatory mediators, and natural killers. Now, to remember which cells are phagocytic cells, we have to think of the famous little fish called Nemo and his father called Marlin. First two letters are for phagocytic cells, Nu for neutrophils, Mo for monocytes, Ma for macrophages. Here we are. These are phagocytic cells, neutrophils, monocytes, and macrophages, part of our innate immune system. Well done. The second category, the cells that release inflammatory mediators. Here's another mnemonic. Master of baseball. This guy here. The mast is for mast cells. Mast cells. E and O are for eosinophils, and BAS is for basophils. Remember, all the cells release inflammatory mediators kept in the small balls in their inside. We call them granules. I know that's a silly mnemonic, but trust me, you will remember it forever in this way. So, for the last category of innate immune components, remember what the master of the baseball would wear: a pair of shoes, a pair of Nike shoes. So, the Nike is for the NK cells, or natural killer cells. Easy to remember this way, right? So, from now on, you will have these three pictures to remember innate immunity components: Nemo and Father Marlin for neutrophils, monocytes, macrophages, the master of the baseball for the mast cells, eosinophils, basophils, and Nike for NK cells. Alright, so now let's talk about adaptive or acquired immune response. Acquired means that we're not born with it. We have to acquire it. And these responses are specific and they get better and faster with repeated exposure to the infectious agent. What are the components of adaptive immune system? The main components are two: the B lymphocytes, or B cells, and the T lymphocytes, or T cells. And what B and T cells do? They proliferate after the receptor binds to a specific antigen. And who will display the antigens to the B and the T lymphocytes? The specialized cells called antigen-presenting cells, APCs. But how I will remember them? Well, it's super easy. APCs present something to the others. What if a presentation is very long with a lot of blah blah and talking? What will happen? The audience get mad. And here is another mnemonic. The B is for the B cells. The LA is for the cells called Langerhans, MA for macrophages, and D for dendritic cells. Taken together, the presentation, remember, antigen-presenting cells, with a lot of blah blah, will result in people getting mad. And here you go. In this way, you will remember all the antigen-presenting cells. Now, a quick recap with an example. Imagine that bacteria enters our body through an injury on our skin, right here. The components of our innate system that are not specific and they have no memory will attack bacteria immediately. A neutrophil, for example, will act by eating the bacteria. This is called phagocytosis, and by releasing its antibacterial substances in the granules inside the cytoplasm, right here. The macrophages, that are, as we have seen, APCs, presenting cells, they will eat bacteria and present a part of their surface to the components of adaptive immune system. This will happen right here, in the lymph node, where the innate and the adaptive immune responses link together. Now, once the antigen is presented, the T cells and the B cells will proliferate and regulate the adaptive response. B cells will produce antibodies, and the T cells will help the others for the battle, or they will kill bacteria directly. We will talk about this on another topic. This response can be more slow if it's the first time they meet this kind of bacteria, or a very fast adaptive response if they know the bacteria from a previous exposure. This is the end of the first part. Thank you for watching.
Explore our extensive library of over 1,800 video lectures to learn about a wide range of topics. Only on sqadia.com.